You want to start the recording? All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Illinois Blue STEM Award author chat. My name is Kim Hazel-Rudden. I'm the publicity co-chair of the Blue STEM Award. We have some representatives from Isle here. I'm going to turn it over to them to introduce themselves. So I'll turn it to Carolyn first.
Hi, I'm Carolyn Kinsella. I am the Isle Executive Secretary, and we are so excited to welcome authors, especially our Blue STEM authors, to these authors chats. So let's start with the questions.
All right.
We're ready.
All right. Well, hold on.
Do we need to introduce other people? Yeah.
Yep. We need to introduce other people. I'm going to tell you the schools that we have here. We have students from Dr. Preston Williams Elementary in Urbana, from North Point Elementary in Bloomington, New Berlin Elementary in New Berlin, Ludwig School in Lockport. And then we have a school from Bloomington, and I didn't catch what the school was, but we have students from Bloomington, Illinois, Southeast Elementary in Sycamore, Thomas Paine Elementary in Urbana, Johnsburg Elementary in Johnsburg, a school in Oak Park that I can't read my handwriting for, and Grand Prairie Elementary in Plainfield. So we have students from across the state of Illinois, and we're here today to talk to, this is the first time we've ever had an author and an illustrator, so we're really lucky today to have such an amazing team of Matthew Swanson and Robbi Behr. I'm going to turn it over to them. They're going to tell us a little bit about themselves, and then we're going to get to all of your questions.
All right. My name is Matthew Swanson. I am an author. I wrote Ben Yokoyama and the Cookie of Doom. You are?
I am Robbi Behr. I am an illustrator. I am the one who illustrated Ben Yokoyama and the Cookie of Doom.
And friends, we know each other really well.
We do.
We hang out together. We're
married. That's the truth. That's why you get both of us at the same time. We were both here
already. In addition to making lots of books together, we have created 4 children together.
Yes.
So we have 4 kids, 2 dogs,
yes.
And lots of books. You guys know Ben Yokoyama and the Cookie of Doom? I'm going to keep handing you books, Robbi.
Oh.
Just so you know, there are many other books in the Cookie Chronicles series that you can read if you're interested.
Book 5.
Right now, today, before this started, what were you doing, Robbi?
I was working on the illustrations for book 6, which are due on Monday, friends.
Not looking good.
It's not looking good.
But we're going to get there. Robbi, she's down against the wire. She's going to do it.
Yes.
And I am writing Cookie Chronicles 7 today. So we have Ben Yokoyama and Janet in mind. While we have you, though, friends, I want you to know that if you run out of Cookie Chronicles books, we also have the Real McCoy series, which is a mystery series about Moxie and Milton McCoy.
And look at all these pictures that I had to draw for these books.
Pictures, schmictures. There's lots of words in this book.
And the words are all right. The pictures are great.
So, friends, we want to spend most of our time answering your questions today, but we're so glad to be here. It's such an honor that so many schools are here, and let's get started with the questions.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to start out with Sheridan Elementary, and then Miss Bauer's class, you'll be next. So have your student ready to go.
Hello, friends at Sheridan.
Good morning, friends.
Hi.
Hi.
How much of the book actually happened versus how much of the book didn't happen?
That is a really good question.
A great question. We've never had that question before.
I love it. I mean, because
that's Taj, by the way.
What's that?
That's Taj who asked you the question.
Taj,
thank you
great
for
question, buddy.
Excellent question, and great job reading it. You know, I'm a fiction writer, which means I write books about things that didn't actually happen, but everything I write about comes from inside of me, right? So it comes from my experiences, it comes from my memories, from my feelings, from my relationships.
That is a very Weasley answer to the question.
Well, I'm not done answering my question yet. When I was a kid, like Ben Yokoyama, I got really confused about the things I read in fortune cookies. So I did read the fortune, live each day as if it were your last. I did get confused about it, and I did think it was my last day. So that when I was writing this book, Robbi doesn't believe me. It is true, friends. It is true. So I have never tried to jump over a really high bush, but I've done other equally foolish things and caused other equally foolish problems as getting somebody's cattle covered with blue paint.
My answer to this question is 0.
What?
0 of the things in this book actually happened.
What?
Matthew made them all up. They were informed by his life, as is all of the writing that anybody does. So the answer is 0. 0 things.
I love how the person who didn't write the book disagrees with the person who did. The bottom line, though, is true. All these things come from my experience in my life. And all of you have lives full of experiences and stories, which is why all of you can be authors too, friends. Yes. You don't have to wait till you're, how old am I? 49 years old? No, next week. I'll be 49 years old next week. You don't have to wait till then to start being an author. You can start today. Just write your story. If you want to have somebody else illustrate it, look around. Someone else in that room can illustrate it for you. and you guys can start being creators too.
But
Okay.
you also don't need to write about things that have actually happened.
You can write about things that
make
have
them
happened
entirely.
to me. All right. Next question.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good.
All right. I love it.
Miss Bauer's class, you're next, and then Miss Stirchula's class, you'll be after them.
Hello, friend.
I say hi. Hi. This is Quinn.
Hello,
Hi,
Quinn.
Quinn.
What was like your funniest book like for kids? Like
What do you think?
yeah.
He
What's
wants
our-
to know. He wants to know which one do you think is the most funny of all the books that you have written?
I have a
I think it's
clear
inappropriate for me to say which of my own books is funniest because I am very biased. So, Robbie,
Wait, I wanna
what?
pick which one
I
is
want
yours.
you to go first.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think the funniest one is book 3 of the Real McCoy series,
Oh.
Wonder Undercover.
Okay.
Moxie goes undercover and she dresses up in this ridiculous getup, and her little brother Milton also goes in disguise and is mistaken for an old pizza man. Anyway, it's funny. There's some funny stuff in it. Although I gotta say, book 1, Cookie of Doom has one of my favorite moments in it, which is
what?
the spelling test is my favorite.
No, that's the Real McCoy's one.
Oh, is that the
Yes,
Real
that's
McCoys?
the Real
Okay,
McCoys
sorry,
one.
that's the Real
Yes,
McCoys.
yes.
Anyway,
Um,
book 1 of the Real McCoys
right.
has a great spelling test in it.
I have 2 answers, and
Yes.
neither of these books is published.
Oh, that's
interestingly
so
enough.
bad.
But one of them you can already read on our website. You
Oh,
can
yeah.
read The Real McCoys has a character named
Annabelle.
Annabelle Adams, who's a girl detective. And I wrote the first book in the Annabelle Adams series. It's available for free on our website. I think that's the funniest thing I've
It's
ever written.
McCoy's
We,
website.
we can get it to
Anyway,
you.
we'll
We can
get
get it to you. You
Yeah.
can search for it.
It's very
Also,
funny.
our next book is called Life on the Moon. It comes out in 2026. And I think that's the funniest one.
It is the funniest.
It's
but you
also the
couldn't
most
say that.
serious.
I wasn't gonna say that
Well,
because it's not available.
But it's
that's,
true.
like mean.
Robbie, I tell the truth.
You
all
have
right?
to wait like 2 years. You guys are gonna be old and walking around with your long beards by the time that one's out.
Like I said, I wasn't going to pick any of the books that has been published. I'm just going to give you frustrating answers, friends, but they're true. All right, great question,
Great
Quinn.
question.
Quinn, I'm glad to know an actual lifeguard. I'm going to try not to have any trouble requiring a lifeguard while we're on this call, but I'm glad to know you're there if need
The
be.
yes lifeguard is a dry lifeguard.
All right, that's true.
Yeah.
That's very wise, Robbie. Can we put that in a fortune cookie?
Okay, sure.
All right, maybe we will. All right,
All right,
what is
Miss
next, friends?
Stirchula's class, and then Southeast Elementary, you'll be after them.
All right.
Hi, my name is Emily, and my question for you is, what was the inspiration for this book?
That is a
Mm.
great question. So I
Thank you, Emily.
I got started with that answer when I talked about how Ben and I are both confused. I'm a very literal minded person. Okay. So Ben gets in trouble because he reads things where the words don't quite match up with what they mean. The proverbs inside of fortune cookies often have metaphors and similes. So you have to figure out what the language means instead of what the words are saying. So I'm literal minded. Robbie will often say something and I'll completely misunderstand it because I'm thinking just about what the words mean instead of what Robbie means.
Matthew's a real words guy.
So-
he likes to take them very literally.
So I often get confused. I
Uh-huh.
always miss the obvious plot lines in movies. And so Ben and I have a lot in common. So it's easy for me to write about someone who gets confused a lot. However, equally important to Ben in the Cookie Chronicles is Janet. And I have a living inspiration of a stubborn, strong-willed, feisty woman to write about. So when I'm writing about Ben and Janet, I'm writing about me and Robbie. How do you feel about that,
I
Robbie?
love Janet.
Do you
I mean,
feel-
no wonder I love her so much.
Do you feel flattered?
I mean, I guess.
I mean, the funny
Janet's great. Yeah.
The Real McCoys is also about Robbie and me, except in that one, I am Moxie McCoy and she is Moxie's little brother,
Yeah.
Milton. So we mix things up a
He's
little
a bit
bit.
of a hot mess.
But really, I got the idea for this book by sitting down and writing a paragraph about a boy eating lunch and getting a fortune cookie and saying to myself, wait a second, maybe something can happen. All of my books come out of an idea that I like that I just keep following until it turns into a story. So you guys can all do that too.
Just as a little add-on,
Yeah.
Matthew's writing process is different from a lot of writers. So I think when you ask about the inspiration of something, Matthew doesn't like have an experience and say, I'm gonna write a book about that. What Matthew does is he just likes to write. So he will get up early in the morning, he will just write for fun, and then he'll see what it is that it seems like he's writing about.
Yeah.
So sometimes he has lots of writing that just kind of goes in the trash can and he doesn't throw it away.
No.
He keeps it.
Always save your words, friends.
Always save your words.
You might be able to return to them later and
Yes,
find
and
gold.
They'll make sense later on.
Yes.
But he'll write a bunch of stuff and then he'll say, oh, this sounds interesting. This is something that I want to follow along with.
If you start writing a story and it doesn't seem like a great story at first, that's okay. Some of it's going to not be great, but
Yeah.
some of it is going to be great.
Yeah.
And the trick is go back to it later, see the parts that are exciting and interesting. Sometimes you have to share it with your friend Robbi, and she'll say, Matthew, 97% of this is terrible, but these 3% are really good and you can make something out of it. So just so you know, when I sit down to write a book, I do not get it right the first time. Absolutely not. I have to write it and rewrite it and keep working on it and get help with it from other people. So it's okay if that's how it works when you're sitting down to create something. All right.
So
Wait,
just as an answer to your question,
did we not answer the
the
question?
question is, what was your inspiration?
Robbi. Robbi was my
Oh.
inspiration. For all things, Robbi. Robbi is the
Take it.
yes.
The correct
All right,
answer.
next question.
All right, so Southeast Elementary, you're next, and Miss Trueblood's class, you'll be after them if you want to be ready.
We have some conferring happening down here. I can't wait. I can tell this
Yeah.
question is going to be
It's
amazing.
gonna be good.
All right.
How long does it take you to write a book if it has 100 to 200 pages?
How long does it take us to write a book if it has 100 to 200 pages? Is that the question?
I'm not sure. Yes.
Okay,
is
that was very specific.
okay. So the Cookie Chronicles books are like 275 pages or so. I don't usually think about it in terms of pages. It's really about making a story that is sort of long and novel length. What were you going to say?
Even though you don't think of it in terms of pages,
you
our
do, don't you?
publisher does,
Yeah.
and so do I, because
Well,
I have to draw those pages.
Here's the answer though.
Yeah.
It probably takes me 6 months to 9 months to write a novel length book, but I'm not sitting there for 24 hours a day during that 6 to 9 months doing it. I'll write really intensely for a while, then I'll take a break, work on something else, have a snack. I'll keep writing and writing. Then I share it to Robbi. She gives me her feedback. Then I'll write some more. I'll share it with our editor, Catherine, whose job it is. She works at the publishing company. Her job is to help me make the book as good as I can. So she does the same thing Robbi does and say, Matthew, this part's working, this part's not working. Need to think about how to answer this question, move things around here. She doesn't write any of the book, but she helps me make it better. So I only write for part of the 6 to 9 months, but that's about how long it takes. We have a new Cookie Chronicles book coming out every 9 months, so we have to do it in that time.
But I would say there are also some books that there's a book that you've been working on for 10 years and it's still not where you want it to be.
No.
So, it depends on the book. It takes me, my time is different than Matthew's. I have a finished product to work with before I even start working. Matthew has to have done all of the writing before I will start illustrating. So, it pretty much takes me 9 months of pretty
solid work
to do the illustrations. And the only reason it takes 9 months is because these books they wanted on an accelerated publishing schedule so that they could get more out quickly.
Robbi would like more time.
For a little bit more time. So 12 months is really kind of my ideal amount of time to illustrate a book.
I'm usually writing 4 or 5 books at once.
Yeah.
Robbi's usually just illustrating 1 book at a time.
Yeah.
Great question. Thank you.
All right, Miss Trueblood, you're next, and then Miss, and I apologize if I say your name incorrectly, Miss Pecoraro's class, you'll be after them.
If you're asking us a question, we can't hear you. I'm sorry. I think your microphone's not on. Miss Trueblood, yeah. I'm afraid we still can't hear you. Do you want to? Oh, wait.
Okay.
Go ahead. We can hear you.
Where did you get the idea of the cake in the book?
Where did I get the idea of the cake in the book? So I like to eat things. Does anyone else like to eat things? Does anyone else like cake? All right. So,
Hold on.
all right.
Tell
What?
the truth, Matthew.
Wait, what's the truth?
The truth is I like cake. You don't like cake.
Well, I like certain kinds of cake a lot. I
Certain
like
kinds of
carrot
cake.
cake. I like carrot cake. All right. If you guys ever make me a cake,
Make
I
me
wouldn't
carrot
mind if
cake.
it's a carrot cake. So Ben is a character who is defined by being hungry, right? He likes cookies, he likes noodles, he likes cake. So when I figured out that Ben thought he only had 1 day to live, I thought he'd better make a list of all the things he's always wanted to do before his day ends. And so I thought it would be kind of fun and funny if instead of the arguably more important things Ben could put on the list, he starts with cake. I think Ben knew that the cake was in the freezer and wanted it a good excuse to eat it. So he said to himself, if I put the cake on the list, then I have to eat the cake, even though the label says, what does it say on the label?
Do not eat this cake.
Do not eat this cake. So I wanted to start the story with a big problem, which is Ben eating the forbidden cake that he then has to solve. When you think about stories, when you write your own stories, remember that every story has a main character whose adventures we care about, and then there's a problem that they need to solve. So Ben's problem, he has lots of problems, but the one that starts the action in the book is, how is Ben going to replace that forbidden cake he ate? So that's how I got the idea. Do you want to tell me that I'm not telling the truth again?
No, I can't remember if this is a story from you or maybe it's a story from my brother.
What?
Who when you or my brother was a kid, you said, when I grow up, when I turn 18 and I'm finally my own person, what I want to do is I just want to eat a cake with my hands.
I mean, I would like to do that. It wasn't my stated dream. It's an implied dream.
Dream. Okay. He grew up to just eat a whole cake without using any utensils. And he was like, as soon as I'm not under the thumb of my parents.
Did he ever do it?
I don't think he's done it.
Let's ask him. Maybe we should give him a cake for his birthday. Okay. I want to eat an entire carrot cake at once, but I'm just wise enough to know it would be a terrible idea. All right. Don't eat as much as Ben. In fact, our editor, Catherine, said, I think that Ben is eating too much. I think that the teachers and librarians and parents are going to be very concerned that we are telling kids to eat too much. So don't eat as much as Ben, friends. Yes. He's a fictional character. Yes. All right. Next question. Thank you, friends.
All right. So it's going to be Miss Pecoraro's class and then Miss Norton's class. If you want, you're going to be after them. So if you can have a student ready to go.
So my name is Jude.
Jude.
Wait, can they hear me? Yep. Oh, and I wonder that why did you not include color in your illustrations?
Why did I not include color in my illustrations?
Good question, Jude.
Good question. This is a boring publishing question. So our publishers have to make money on these books. And one of the ways in which they make money is by not making the books too expensive to produce. And color printing is much, much, much more expensive to do than black and white printing. Also, paying for somebody to do the coloring in the pictures takes a lot longer than just doing them in black and white. So for comics artists, if you've seen graphic novels, a lot of times graphic novels, there's one person who does the drawings, there's another person who does the inking, which is the black and white lines, and then there's another person who does color. That means you have to pay for 3 people to do the job that one me is doing in these books. Yeah. So not only is it more expensive to produce, it's more expensive to pay for the people to actually produce it. So that it's about money.
Yeah.
But honestly, I gotta say, I'm glad that it's in black and white because it means that I don't have to, like, it would really, like you guys, 9 months is fast enough to get them out. I feel like that's a good pace. Like, you guys are still interested 9 months later to read the next book. Or if I were doing it in color, it would be like every 3 years, maybe.
You'd only have 2 Cookie Chronicles books instead of 5 so far. Yeah. We do want to do a book in color. We have a book in mind that we think color would really benefit from. And we do books for younger kids, picture books that are completely full color, but they're only 30 pages long. Yeah. So.
And those take me about the same amount of time as it takes me to do a full longer book.
But the important thing here is books are a business. It is our job to make books. So even though we love doing it, it is still part of a business, and the people who produce the books, who publish the books, need to make money. So that's why.
Yep.
All right.
But please feel free to lobby our publishers for color illustrations in the next book that we're doing, which is the one that we want the color to be in.
Also, friends, you do not have to make your books black and white. The fact is, since you are self-publishing your books right now, you can make them in full color, and I hope you will if that's what you want to do. All right. Who's next?
I was gonna say, there's a whole room of kids in PJs.
Oh, wow. I wish I'd kept I had my PJs on before this call, then I changed so I would look.
I have my PJs on.
Oh, are you going to show them? Yes, is that what's happening? Wait, you're going to show you're going to show your leopard? Look at this. Look at Robbi's leopard PJs. She is ready for anything.
I just rolled out of bed and started illustrating. I didn't do any, I didn't change into clothes this morning.
Here's something I want you to know. Robbi looks like a human being, but she is actually either a bat or a raccoon. She is a nocturnal creature. She worked all night long. And then what time did you?
Slept for, I don't know. I slept for 3 hours. I got up at 9 this morning.
It's not a healthy way of doing it. It's how she works. So, all right. Next question. We're going
to go to Miss Norton's class, and then after Norton, it'll be Grand Prairie.
Okay. Good morning, Miss Norton's class.
Is it Norton or Norton Ann?
Oh, I don't know.
Norton Ann.
All right.
Hi, fellas.
Hello, friends. PJ gang.
PJ gang.
All right. Oh, yeah. Oh, they're having fun over there. All right. What do we got?
I think we need the microphone on.
Yeah,
I'm
we
not sure.
can't hear you if a question is happening. I don't see a microphone like
Doesn't look like it's
icon
muted.
next to you at all.
All right, she said that their mic is not working.
Oh,
So
okay.
Ms. Nordsclass, if you want to type in your question in the chat.
Okay. Do you have any fun facts to share in the meantime, Robbi Behr?
I mean, you already shared that I was a raccoon.
All right. Well, so in addition to being a raccoon, Robbi is a commercial salmon fisherwoman. I know, but I'm talking about you. So in the summer, every summer, we and our 4 kids and our 2 dogs get on a plane and fly to Alaska and spend 5 weeks fishing for salmon. We catch 50 to 75,000 pounds of salmon every year.
It's our summer job.
It's our summer job.
Yes.
So writers don't just write, illustrators just don't illustrate.
No, sometimes we have to do other jobs. Most of the time.
They did
This is a
put a
great
question
question.
in.
What is
Yes,
it with
this
you?
is an excellent question.
Such good
Okay.
questions. All right, Robbi.
We want
please.
to know,
Yeah.
how many times do you go through edits for a book?
So many times. If I had to sort of estimate, I would bet I go through 10 rounds of edits on the words of a book. First of all, Robbi reads it, and then she gives me feedback. Then maybe she reads it again.
Well,
or maybe
it's just outside edits. How many times do you think that you edit it yourself?
That I edit it
Because Matthew spends days in his office reading his manuscripts out loud.
because I want it to sound good.
Yeah.
I want it to sound good. I make audiobooks of all of these. I record the audiobooks, so I want to make sure that whatever I'm writing also sounds good out loud. All right, so I would say,
How many times do you do that though? First, before it comes to me.
dozens of times.
Yeah.
I was doing it this morning for Cookie Chronicle 7. So Robbi reads it a couple times.
Yes.
Catherine, our editor, reads it 3 or 4 times. And then after she's done, the people called the copy editors go through it. And there's 4 rounds of editing for that. So this morning, I did a round of changes for Cookie Chronicle 6, and it's probably the 7th official round of changes overall.
Explain. Okay, so Catherine is your editor.
Right.
Catherine's edits are not like, you spelled this word wrong.
No.
Catherine's edits are like, you did not explain this idea very well. Please figure out how to explain it better.
Or this plot line seems a little unnecessary. You're trying to take too much, trying to do too much in this book. Let's simplify and focus on this.
Right.
What are you trying to, like, what is Ben going to learn in the process of this book? What can we do to make his fight with Janet seem a little bit more interesting or productive? So she wants to make the story as good as possible.
So she's asking questions. So that's what those rounds of edits with his editor, Catherine, are.
Yeah.
The next round of edits, the 4 rounds with the copy editors.
Oh my goodness.
Those are not just you spelled this word wrong, because over the course of editing with Catherine, Matthew and Catherine try to correct all that stuff too.
Yeah.
So they've seen it many times, but the copy editors are a very special breed of people who find all different kinds of little problems that if you're really paying close attention, that you will notice. Like, you said that school started 3 days ago, but 3 days ago was a Thursday. They can't be in school again today,
right?
Because it's actually Sunday.
Or a character might say something like, Janet looked around the room and said, "Look, Ben," and they would say, "You used the word look too close together. Change one of them to a different word." So it's really amazing, fine point details.
Or,
yes,
this is one that I just did.
What?
At one point, he says he pulled up his sleeves and started doing something, and I had him dressed in a t-shirt all the way up until that point.
Oh no.
And I had to go back.
Well, at that point, you can just ask me to change the line.
Oh, yes. I actually just.
Anyway, copy editors, there's the answer is many, at least 10 official rounds and dozens of unofficial rounds. It takes a long time to get a book in the shape that it is before you read it in the bookstore or the library. You guys are really sharp and wise. We appreciate you, students of Illinois.
All right, Grand Prairie Elementary.
All right. Hi, friend.
What is your favorite author?
What is my favorite? What is your favorite author, Robbi?
My favorite author?
That's what the question was. Maybe you do favorite illustrator. I'll do favorite author.
Yeah, I'm gonna do my favorite illustrator.
All right. I love an author named Kurt Vonnegut, and I hope you will read him when you become an adult. His books probably are for reading later in life, but for kids, I love the books by Daniel Handler / Lemony Snicket called A Series of Unfortunate Events. I loved the books by Beverly Cleary growing up about Ramona and her sister Beatrice. I love books by Louis Sacker, like Holes and The Wayside School. I love humor. I love when stories are told with humor. So generally the people that I like are going to use humor a lot. Robbi, how about you? Either authors or illustrators?
I love the illustrator, Matthew Cordell, who's also an author.
Yeah. He's from Illinois.
Oh, that's right.
You can probably go see him in Anderson sometime. He's awesome.
He's a Caldecott medalist.
Yes, indeed.
His very first book was called Trouble Gum. It's a picture book, and it is about two little pig brothers who would chew up a bunch of bubble gum and blow giant bubbles, and it is a delight. It's my favorite little picture book. For longer books, I really like the Hazardous Tales by Nathan Hale. Those are graphic novels that are very funny, but also full of useful historical information. They're super fun. So Nathan Hale's Hazardous Tales.
Check it out.
Check it out. They're super fun.
No, maybe he's not from Illinois. I can't remember where he's from. Anyway,
we met him one time.
He's
not from Illinois. Sorry, I don't want to spread misinformation about you, Nathan. All right.
And guess what? We got through all of every school.
Excellent.
And right within our time. So we're going to turn it over to you if you guys have some parting words for us.
Some parting words for you. I just want to remind you that if you like books, if you like illustrations, if you like making art, if you like making music, if you like doing sculpture, if you like doing anything creative, remember a few things. One, the longer you do it, the better you're going to get. Robbi and I did not just start out by publishing books. It took us a long time. We spent 10 years making our own books in this room by hand. It's called self-publishing. We published around 60 books together that no one wanted to buy, that no one really wanted to read. We just made them because we felt like it.
Yeah, but it was good practice and it was fun to do. So
I wrote my first book when I was 12 and I just never stopped writing. How about you?
Well, I mean, here's the interesting thing. Everybody starts out drawing. Kindergarten, first grade, second grade, preschool, everybody is drawing, right? At a certain point, people stop drawing for whatever reason. I really don't understand and I don't know why, but at a certain point, usually it's sometime in middle school, people stop drawing. I just never stopped. And the thing is, if you keep doing it, you'll get better at it. So I just kept getting better at it because I just kept doing it.
And the other thing I would like to say is Robbi and I support each other a lot. It can be frustrating. It can be sort of frustrating when you're trying to write a story or create
a project.
So
thing that you do is so frustrating to do on your own.
Working with other people is a good way to keep yourself moving, to make something more interesting than you could make by yourself. If you're just a writer, just an illustrator, the way we are, you can put your pictures and words together to make something with others you could never make by yourself. So collaboration is a thing I would recommend to all of you, whether it's in making art or anything in life. It's easier when you join forces with other people.
To collaborate with people in your lives.
Also, can you do something for us? Can you turn and look at your teachers, friends?
Yes.
Look at your teachers and give them a round of applause. We appreciate you, teachers. We love you, teachers and librarians. Thank you.
And librarians. Here's the thing.
Yes.
They are your editors.
Yes.
We have to find a professional person whose job it is to edit our work.
Yes.
Your teachers are there for you.
Every day.
Every day.
Because they care about you.
And so when you turn in a project and they give it back to you and it's got a bunch of marks on it, it says, I don't really understand what you're doing here. You're doing it exactly right. And your teachers are helping you to get better. Remember that. They aren't trying to make you feel bad. They're trying to help your work be better. And that means that they are a resource for you. They are helping you out. They are somebody who you should be grateful for. All right.
We are grateful for you, teachers.
For the teachers who do all of this work to help you get your work better.
I think I'm all out of wisdom. I think I've said everything I know what to say, unless there's any more questions from any of our adult friends, if any teachers or anyone wants to throw questions at us. Otherwise, what an honor it has been to spend some time with you, friends. Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking the time to answer our questions. And students, thank you for your really awesome questions that you asked today. Teachers, if you would like, you can unmute so the students can say goodbye. And thank you all for joining us today.
Thank you, friends. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Okay.
My pajamas back on.